Why am I so silly, everybody? Sometimes I record to the cloud, sometimes I record to my computer, but I've got computer problems that I won't get into right now. Welcome to the show, the Recruiting Animal Show. What's the date today? August 18th, 2021. I had a guest, but she got sick, okay? And she canceled yesterday. And I said, honey, don't worry. I've got the recruiting animal panel, whatever I'm calling it these days. We're calling it a recruiters roundtable. And look at all the superstars I've got here already. I got to say something, though, right off the bat. I had a little chat with Dewalta Doherty here from, I guess he's in the UK, and he's a martial artist. He takes jujitsu, and now he's denying that he's modest, okay? The guy is really modest. I was really impressed. I was saying, hey, man, you can defend yourself. I wish I could. Oh, no. He says, it's more just like a humbling experience. So
I'm just disappointed you didn't give me the memo to wear the salmon T-shirt. What's going on, boys? Are you dressed by the same person?
That's a cult, okay? It's a cult for Rajneesh or something like that, okay? Those guys are in it.
Big sex cult.
They're not wearing their, yeah, you're right. You know it. They're not
Mario liked that one.
They're not wearing their beads today.
Personally, I don't like cults, okay? But it's fine. Okay. Why not?
But that one in Pune. Okay, everybody, let's get to it. I was hoping that Rich was here because, but I'll start without him. Okay.
He'll always show up late.
Yeah, okay. Well, he'll have to defend himself. David Stephen Patterson, Michael G. Cox, you're going to get a lot of questions today because I had time to look at his group, and he asked, has anyone had any ridiculous requests from clients? And Rich said, a female HR executive was here from the UK, and she wanted me to come meet her at her hotel room at 9:30 p.m. Okay, he said she was not happy when I asked if I should bring my wife. Great answer, but he didn't tell us what happened with the placement. Anybody?
He also didn't tell us what she said. Like yes, no.
He said she wasn't happy, okay? We don't know what she said exactly, but it didn't work out. Anybody else ever have something like that, bad, odd, or?
Are we talking about happy endings, or what are we talking about?
I'm guessing that was involved in this one, but he wasn't, he didn't want to ruin his life for
He wasn't down.
One. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Has anyone had any passes made at them by candidates or clients?
Hey, I ain't that hot as Rich, okay? I can't expect that.
Okay, I guess that's it.
You're talking to guys. First of all, when we're getting hit on, or at least I don't even know. I'm close to it.
Yeah.
Okay, women recruiters hit on guy candidates. It's happened. Okay, there you go.
That's true. So you gotta be hot. You gotta be a data scientist.
Hey, you guys want to check out my new ATS?
What's the new ATS?
Okay.
Get out.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Okay,
we'll fill soon. That's an important section right there.
DSP was also big on this. He said, don't use LinkedIn Recruiter. You don't need it. Sales Navigator is good. It's just as good.
Will suffice.
Yeah, everybody agree on that? Sales Navigator. Who's using?
Big time, yeah. We
SN for life. Anytime.
What? Come on. I'm not
SN for life. Sales Navigator for life.
Okay.
Simple.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things you can do is to have your first connections up, so you can really get to know your connections within your niche. If LinkedIn Recruiter's just giving you access to people, the engagement is still the key piece, and that's tough.
I don't know what you're talking about. Can you?
Well, that's because you're a rubbish recruiter.
I'm not using LinkedIn Recruiter.
Please speak rubbish recruiter on this show.
Okay, look, here's what he said. If you're not going to use a lot of InMail, Sales Navigator is enough. He says, I was an LI, a recruiter customer for years. I stopped 3 years ago. And this other guy, oh boy, sorry. Shafiq Mumani, he says, there's more filters in LinkedIn Recruiter, but for me, it doesn't justify the additional cost. Nobody wants to talk about that. Okay, fine, I'll move on.
What you need to be doing, and Dualta alluded to this. Let me help translate it for the recruiting animal. Make lots of connections and try and communicate with those individuals to
But you
develop your
need
relationship.
LinkedIn Recruiter to
No.
make those connections. Is that what
No.
he's saying?
No, and by the way, the DSP, when he was talking about using LinkedIn Recruiter, if you use a lot of InMail, it doesn't matter what you have, LinkedIn Recruiter, Lite, LinkedIn Recruiter, or SalesNav, InMail doesn't work. You're going to get ignored.
I know there's people been on the show. I can't remember who it is.
Unless you're in,
opposite
where was he?
of
Reykjavik?
you, okay?
Yeah, I think that one of the struggles now is that we're limited on connections. So
300?
before we
True.
could just like smash through so many, and it was easy to build up a pool and like to do that. And now you're limited to 100.
So hold on a second, Dualta, you were talking, you weren't addressing the question. That's why I didn't understand your answer. You were just saying, here's a good LinkedIn strategy, right? Is that what you were telling me?
I was saying that that's a better LinkedIn strategy than paying loads of money for LinkedIn Recruiter, because as Michael helped you a little bit, like engaging with these people, and that's the key piece.
Hi, Ernie. So hold on, how do you engage? So you say build your connections. How do you do that? Just call up and say hi to people? DSP has the answer for that as well.
That's
I
a
didn't
good
like
question.
it.
I think like over the years, what we did was we just connected with every recruiter who was within, because we were recruiting recruiters. So every recruiter that fit the criteria of 1 to 5 years in this company, this company, this company, we connected with them all.
How did how did you connect? What method? Messaging, email? What did you do?
Just like a
connection request.
Just a connection request on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And then
did you send a message? Did you send a message with it, or just a plain
yeah,
vanilla?
just a quick message. Love to connect. Let me know if I can ever help out.
Well, did you say I recruit recruiters? I place recruiters. Did you let them know?
No, because I want to engage with them over a period of time. I want to build that trust. And I think it's kind of like meeting a girl at a bar. You're not going to, ask her to go home and sleep with you straight away, are you?
Yeah, but I'm not talking about asking to sleep with these recruiters. I'm talking about just letting them know who you are. I replace recruiters. Maybe we can do business in the future. Okay, I mean, that makes sense. Or it's like going to a bar and say, hey, I'm heterosexual. Okay, if you're talking to a woman. Okay,
yeah, but maybe, maybe I'll wait, and then I'll ask another question, or I'll find some way to engage. Like it's all about timing.
Okay, he's wrong, everybody. Michael G. Cox is groaning though. What's your story?
So annoying. He's not, no, he's not wrong, but what I did, the connection request, and I'm not getting highly personalized. I see you went to such and such university. It's crap. It's played out. Marketing and recruiters killed that many years ago. It's no longer effective. But what you can just do is state the obvious. And so I send connection requests, and I've been doing this exact same thing for like 6 or 7 years. I send a very basic connection request that states the obvious. Hey, we have connections in common, would love to connect, and not in those exact words. And then a follow-up message, which is just, thanks for connecting. Can I help you with anything? I can help you with this or this. And then several days or weeks later, send another message, which is giving them something of curiosity that pertains to their
niche.
What?
You're already
which is sales. So I'll send a sales executive something that should be of interest to sales executives.
Hi. How do you know?
Michael, do you have that automated?
Yes. Yeah, I've had that automated for a long time.
What do you use?
I've used Linked Helper. There's another one that I'm going to kick the tires on. I can't remember the name, but I got it through like apps.
You referred it before last time, Michael. I remember. It's like $200, if I'm correct.
Oh, the scheduler. No, he's talking about the scheduler that you referred to. You said you
not
don't like Calendly.
That's
not the scheduler. He referred also Link Up, I think. It's Link Up or something.
No,
like
it's
that.
Lovio or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I remember that.
Novio.
Too costly.
Snovio.
No,
No,
Snow
that's
is
the-
different. animal.
Snov.io.
Snovio
That's
is
a different
connected,
app.
really, like kind of integrated automatically into Linked Helper.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on a second. So DeWalto screwed up because he doesn't tell them what he does on the first contact. You say you connect, then you say I can help you with this or that. What kind of things are you offering to help them with? I'll write you a free resume, or I'll let you see everybody in my slew of candidates
So,
for free. What are you
yes and
doing?
yes. Two of the things that I usually do are, number one, hey, the overwhelming majority of my connections are in sales. If I can connect you with anybody, let me know. Happy to do so.
Okay.
The other thing, if you're ever looking for a gig, let me know. I can help by reviewing your resume and giving you some pointers to optimize that for your job search.
Yeah,
And
big mistake. Big
I
mistake.
did that. Yeah, zip it. I did that for years. And the overwhelming majority of people reply with, wow, thank you very much, and then never take me up on it. So I'm not spending that much time on it, but I'm still helping, and I'm certainly
Okay, so you
standing
don't
out
have
by
to
saying I
follow
can
up.
help you with
You don't
these
have to actually
specific things.
but it makes you look like a good guy. That's what you're saying, okay? I give the pretense of being a nice person. Nobody really challenges me on it. Okay.
Yeah,
but-
if they challenge me, I'll do it.
yeah, okay.
Be nice.
Yeah, okay. But Ernie,
Yeah.
Ernie, before we get to you, this
Being
is what,
nice, animal sucks the life out of it and the heart out of it by saying,
I
you're
get
just
to the heart of
pretending.
the issue, okay? I get to the heart of the issue. I complimented Dualta at the beginning of the show lavishly, okay?
Right
But he's
before
not
you insulted him, I'm
He's
sure.
not showing himself in that initial email message. I'm
Why
a-
have you
a
no
humble
females
man.
on the
I'm
show, Animal?
I'm the humblest recruiter that you're ever going to meet. You're going to enjoy dealing with me. Even something like that. I mean, that would be
Do the
so
ladies
unique.
not like coming on the show, Animal?
What?
Why is it all men on here?
Okay.
We're-
Oh, you know what? I was accused of that before. It's wide open. Anybody can come on. And in
Well,
fact,
hey,
we just had a few weeks
Walter,
ago,
let
we
me
had a
ask you
guest.
this. Do you think that there's diversity on this show?
There is diversity. We all have different
No,
backgrounds.
no, but
Yeah, true.
Walter, do you think there's diversity on this show?
There's diversity of t-shirts anyway.
Oh,
No, you
Hey,
see,
shut.
let me get to a point here. What I'm trying to get at is everybody talks about diversity as being men and women, right? It's not. It's ethnicity. It's a lot of other things. This is the only
Yeah,
show.
I think
you
there's definitely diversity on this.
Yeah, no. But let me bring up another thing before we take off. One of the things I set up was a group within LinkedIn. It's called the Food Manufacturing Industry Group, as a way of connecting to people. I've got 20,000 members now. The purpose of that group was just to network. And today, if I look at it and I ask myself how many people want to join, I have about 30 that want to join today. So I throw that out to people just to set up a group, and has nothing to do other than to say this group was set up to network among food industry.
how much time do
individuals.
you put into your group? Do you do any
Nothing.
how much moderating?
Nothing,
Really? Wow.
nothing. They just join, and
And
it's
do you
like
ever message when you've got a job? Do you message the whole group and say, "This is what I'm working on right now"?
Can't do that.
Not really, no, not
You
yet.
used to be able to. You used to.
You
I,
used
uh,
to be able to send out a message.
Yeah, no,
I
I don't
spent,
really
I
use
spent
it
the
that
last
way.
year
But
building
they're
these
good
communities.
good connects, good
Bless you.
contacts that normally wouldn't be in there. But it's just interesting how people want to join things, and in a lot of ways, what Walter is saying.
You know what?
is true.
People join things and never follow up themselves either.
Yeah,
They might
true.
join your group. The point is with your group is that if you could message a whole bunch of people at one time, like Dualta, how many people
That's
are in?
one of the points. The other point is you can just, again, state the obvious. Hey, you and I, you are in the group that I created, and then you reference the group.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
just,
let's connect.
it's like
And if you're
8
mean to me,
words
then
of
if you're mean to
similarity.
me, I'll kick
basically.
you out of the group.
You know, you guys derailed me. I wanted to critique what Michael G. Cox said, but I can't remember. Let me introduce everybody. Dualta, he doesn't just place recruiters, but that's what you were talking about. Did you come up with a website this
Got
time?
like 8 businesses now.
Did you come up with a website?
Recruiters Mastermind. we coach recruitment entrepreneurs how to streamline their business, how to automate their processes, how to hire virtual assistants, and how to make.
I'm not in on
tons of
any
money.
of that. I am in
He-
the
he
group
is
and I
young.
really enjoy it. But it's mostly, just to be honest, it's like a bunch of recruiters that are together on a platform that
You
just
mean
say,
on his Facebook group or in his
No.
recruiting mastermind group?
I don't, the dinghy, it's a what's up?
Yeah, you're in the dinghy, and then out of that, then we have our mastermind is our private group where.
Okay, what's the one URL? I'm gonna have to spend 5 minutes trying to navigate how to get to Dualta. You know what? His name is spelled Dualta. He's like the only one in the world. Put it in Google and you'll come to him. Dualta Recruiter. That's gonna come to him. Okay,
Hey, Dualta, is that like a family name?
it's an Irish name. Come on.
I appreciate that, and his family probably has people around the nation. Is that a family name?
No.
How did
It's a
they
weird-
get that, man? That's
Yeah,
Oh,
my dad, my mom and dad, young and weird, and
Okay.
thought it was a good idea, and I've suffered it since.
Okay, Ernie, well, you're unique. It's a conversation piece. Ernie is the foodindustryrecruiter.com. Well, you know what? Ivan, I was going to scold you because I understand your logic of keeping your head low so we can see your advertising above your head, but it is kind of, I find disconcerting when we have to look down to you there. Anyway, this guy he was a programmer. He's now a recruiter of programmers. He's over in Switzerland, but he made his own ATS. It's called KLANG.SO. Check it out. I noticed that Mario has a last name now. Mario used to be R. Now it's Mario Karth. And I can't remember how to spell his. He doesn't want to show himself for some reason.
Dude,
It's
I'm
okay.
showing myself. What?
We can't see you. Does anybody else?
Are
see
you
him?
serious?
I am I serious? Yes. Okay. Let's move on. Sorry.
On
When
the
you
video.
come,
You told me to get another camera. I ordered another camera.
I
Wait
know
for
what
the
I
camera.
wanted to say. Okay. DSP does the same thing as Michael G. Cox. He sends this message. Hi there, Billy. This is David Stephen Patterson. I appreciate you connecting with me today. If there's ever anything I can do for you, like introduce you to somebody in my network, I'd be happy to do so. I'm connected to over X number of people in this industry and here on LinkedIn.
his
So-
was SAP. He runs an SAP outfit.
Okay, he had a blank there. Okay, so if I can open any doors for you, simply ask. Either way, just happy to connect, and I wish you a great day. Thanks again. Okay, now the thing is, someone asked him, well, what if they ask you to connect with somebody that the person
You
who
do
asks
it.
you could be a client, and the person who they want to connect to is could be your candidate. I mean, they're using this offer to short circuit and go around this recruiting process. He said he would do it. He said,
Yes.
I wouldn't. Screw
Well,
you,
dude,
buddy.
do you actually think that you're going to be able to hold off on that connection long enough to introduce yourself to this new company that you've never spoken to, get them a contract, get through their procurement and legal, get it back, everything signed, and then say, oh, by the way, I got this guy 3 months later?
What if it happened a second time? How many times are you going to introduce people in your network who you should be charging for that introduction? Anybody?
Oh, dude.
Anybody worry about that?
No.
No.
The 8 times that it's happened in the past 5 years? No.
Oh, okay.
Very few people ask for introductions.
Okay. You know what? Somebody had some email subject lines. She said they work for her, looking to get good thoughts from the expert and question about a certain kind of project. She liked those. Anybody got a comment on those, or I'll move on quickly? Did you understand it?
No.
You look
Yeah.
confused, Walter. It's a recruiting email. It's a subject line. The first one is looking to get thoughts from an expert. So if you are recruiting for an SAP recruiter, you would put in there looking to get thoughts from an expert, and in the body, it would have something about an SAP recruiting job. Do you understand now?
I gotcha.
Do you like that subject line? Looking to get thoughts from an expert?
It depends if you really are looking to get thoughts from an expert, or if it's just a cheesy way of selling
It's
them
a cheesy
something.
way. Okay, it's a cheesy way.
Then I don't like it.
What about question
Hey,
about?
you never know. I mean, I
No,
never
you
know
do.
the person may respond with that.
You do know, and yeah, the response rates are going to be low, and those that
She said-
respond,
she's
they know what you're
bragging.
doing.
She's bragging. She gets good response rates. Someone else uses quick question. Another person just puts the name of the person they're targeting. That seems the most ridiculous one to me. Anybody else? Open? No. Moving
That's
on.
for an email.
Yeah. Okay.
To
Okay.
candidates or customers? Candidates, right?
Candidates. Yeah, it's for candidates.
Okay, that
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay. Okay.
I
Here-
rarely email candidates.
okay.
Michael G. Cox, you're lucky.
Recruiting outside the box. Okay. Jeremy Sizemore says, I've sent old school letters in an 8x10 envelope to a top 20 directly to the person's desk. He recruits SAP as well. Okay. And he said, inside, I put a crisp $2 bill, and I said that I know time is money and I'd welcome a 5-minute call to discuss an opportunity that could help advance their career. The response rate was over 70%. I mean, just because he's smart enough to put a $2, but we don't have $2 bills here anymore. Anybody, doesn't they see that as cheesy? Anybody like that?
Why not?
Well,
No,
guess
I
what?
don't
If
like
it
it.
works for him, he's making more money
Yeah,
than me,
he makes-
according to what he states.
He's a millionaire, man.
Yeah, he's a millionaire.
I
Okay.
have no doubt. I've never
Okay.
tried it, so I
Okay,
wouldn't.
but Michael G. Cox came out
Oh, man.
bragging as well. Michael G. Cox bragged his head off on this one. He's told us about it before. I read it 5 times. I still don't understand it. Do you want to tell us what your out of the box experience in recruiting was, Michael G. Cox, or do I have to read it?
Can you refresh?
I
I've-
created a form document that would ask people,
That one was awesome.
what did you do?
Okay,
Al.
so when I worked in staffing, what's up, Alan?
Yo,
When I worked in staffing, we had to fill like tons of jobs, and it was like forklift and warehouse and legal secretary all over the place. So what I did, this was in like 93 or 96, 97, all those years, what I started doing was I would print these QR codes. And so it was a QR code, and it just, at the very bottom, it just said, scan with your phone to learn more, something like that. And I would print like 10 of those on a sheet of paper, and I'd print out hundreds of those sheets of paper, cut them all up, and then I would put those on at car lots, put that on the window.
Little strips of paper
Yeah.
with a QR code,
Yep.
and no indication of what it was about. Just say, scan with your phone, and
Yes.
stupid people did that.
Yes, tons. And so that takes you directly to a form that would say like first name, last name, city, phone number, email, things like that. And then they would fill it out, and that would get sent over to like a Google Doc back in the day. And it was like a big spreadsheet that would capture all that information. And every day you get people just trickling in to do that. And it worked for a very long time. And we
Does
would have,
anybody think that's smart?
yeah,
by the way, I would also ask for, because I was usually putting it on merchandise on at the mall and at car lots and Home Depot and places like that. So when people are buying things, I just put that on there and they'd scan it. And I'd also ask for like title or company, things like that.
Would it work today?
Well, I'm
Yes.
thinking I haven't done it in ages, but you know how everybody uses the QR code instead of your menu these days? So we've gotten accustomed to using QR codes again. So I'm thinking that it might work. So give it a shot. I haven't done it.
It depends on the market. So he's
Yeah,
talking
and also what
yeah.
types of positions you're filling,
Yeah.
because I mean, if you're filling everything under the sun at your little or big agency, that maybe getting rando people sending in their information, it's just sitting on a spreadsheet. And then when somebody pops on and says that they are a legal secretary whoa, you jump on that one because that's the
Yeah.
kind
I
of job
can't
you need to fill.
imagine me seeing some nondescript, mysterious strip of paper and actually going there. First
Yeah,
of
it was-
all,
it was.
and then
It's just like buying a
Was,
car. The
was
right
LinkedIn
person-
not invented for a reason?
Yeah,
Pardon
but
me?
it's the right person at the
This
right
was-
time at the right moment.
Like,
Like
why are
90
we talking about this now? Like, LinkedIn's a database. It has all these people. We know.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't. No, it
We know
doesn't.
where
no,
they
not
are.
those people.
No, it
Not
doesn't.
those people. Not the staffing, unskilled people. They're hard to find.
Yeah, and I'll
Okay?
tell you right now, in the trades and construction and other ones, there's a lot of people that aren't on LinkedIn.
They're
No,
on Facebook though, right?
Well, yeah, but you know,
Yeah, you
I
can't find them, and they don't have their jobs on there, their
Yeah.
titles.
I find better from other sources, but another one for software, if you want to spend the time to do it and you're in a specific geography, is I used to go down to Orange County and I'd go hang out at a couple of different coffee shops, and you'd have everybody had their laptop up, and you walk around, and if you see somebody writing code, strike up a conversation. And I got 3 hires in a year from that.
And no one turned around. Excuse me, everybody. I get complaints when I swear. Okay. No one said "fuck off." Okay. No one said no one said that to you.
A couple
Al?
would say,
Oh,
a
hey,
couple-
I see your
That's
coding.
online, dude. You've been spending too much time away from face to face. Nobody ever says that kind of thing.
or
Or
okay,
DeWalta is gonna roll with them.
yeah, no, I
You
say,
have the
oh,
balls. You actually have skin in the game. It's not like automated, like 3,000 emails.
Yeah.
It's like he has skin in the game. Like Alan, if you do something like Alan, you're like putting your like face there, and like somebody could punch you. Like there's risk, right? So people like that. They like.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
it's not
nobody's
gonna
actually
happen
gonna
at a
do that in
coffee
real
shop,
life.
but, you know, you walk around, you play dumb, and it's like, hey, is that software code?
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
Is
is it
that
C++?
software
Is it
code?
Java?
Recruiters
If
do
that's
that,
software code,
What?
I'd like to recruit you for a job,
What,
but I
Walter?
don't know what
No,
software
I want to hear what
code
Walter
is. Yeah.
he just said something. What did you just say?
DeWalta?
I said so many recruiters do that. They hang out at the coffee
Really?
station of the co-working space.
But
Nah.
that's at the co-working space. I'm talking about a real coffee shop.
Yeah,
Okay, Starbucks.
I'm talking about
Whatever
where
you
it's
got.
not in a building
coffee.
where it's a whole bunch
I
of tech
want to.
companies.
Who
And I
does
hang out
that?
there.
Okay, who does it? Find me somebody.
In my first corporate recruiting gig, I was a sales recruiter for a large systems integrator, and one of our major competitors actually had a their sales kickoff in San Antonio. So I knew the hotel where it was going to be. I knew where all the events were going to be. So I would go down to the bars in those hotels after the event was over every night, and connected with a ton of people.
You want to know the
But
best
what did
place
you do,
used to
Michael?
be?
What did you do if they're like, have you been in the event? Like, or they didn't even ask, right? You just bump in there, and it's like,
And you
No,
start
I was like,
talking.
oh no, I'm not at the event. I'm a local here, and we usually have drinks at this hotel
Yeah.
bar.
The best place, anybody remember Comdex?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to Comdex, and what is everybody supposed to do? They're supposed to walk.
what's Comdex?
Comdex used to be the biggest geek tech show in Las
I
Vegas.
used to go here.
Yeah. And so, you know, your company and your bosses wanted you to walk around to the tables and meet people. You want to know the best place it used to be to meet people was the craps table. You got 16 people standing there, bored as heck.
Oh, okay. Well, we didn't have that here. Okay.
Well, but or whatever the place was, to Michael G. Cox's comment, he'd go to the bar. You go to the
Okay.
place where they don't have the game face.
You know
on.
what? You guys are back in the 90s when half the recruiters weren't even born yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
you want to know something, Animal?
That was like
90% of the
2010,
recruiters
dude.
today are crap.
There you go,
And
everybody.
if Walty's got 10 recruiters working for him, I would bet 5 of them he'd like to switch out.
That's
Ouch.
straight out of
How do you
that's straight
really
out of
feel?
Steve. That's straight out of Steve Finkel. Yeah, that was his pitch. But hold on, let me come to something. Ivan doesn't say very much here, but I noticed he posted a clip of himself he was on Hung Lee's show, okay? And he was yapping away like crazy with all kinds of passion. And what was it about? Something we talked about a few minutes ago. He said IT developers are so crazy and they don't understand business at all that you can't figure out what to put in the email for them. Yeah, what did you say? Something like if it's a short email, they start crying that there's not enough information. Go ahead, tell us here. But if you better deliver it with a lot of punch like you did on that show, okay?
Oh, a little hung envy.
So, so basically, it is like It is true. Actually, I had this thought today because like I'm recruiting for a more like businessy role, just like, you know, like super like 10 times better paid and also technical, but more managerial. And it turns out that, yeah, those people actually know how to like talk because they have to manage people. And then immediately, like if you even have an inch of this skill to like in your job to manage people, you immediately are so much easier to recruit. This unbelievable. And I even had the thought like right before this show that like coders are the worst, like because they are exactly in the spot that they are very technical and they do not need to know anything else, and that's like what makes them such a special group. Yeah, that you have this edge cases. So whereas everybody more or less knows how to communicate with programmers, you have like extreme nice people and extreme like people who kind of want to make your life hell. And both of these groups actually is hard to work with because the very nice ones, they like you have to protect them to not be mistreated by the client. So really you have to
I'm
take
having
care
trouble
of them
hearing
like
you.
a
Is there
baby.
anybody else?
No, I
No,
can't
are
hear
you on
you.
a cell phone, Animal?
The
No.
Oh, okay.
other extreme, yeah, is like you have then like really people who like intentionally make your life hell and their own life hell and like everybody life's hell. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's this
Here's the
group called-
problem. On the show, on the other show, not my show, on the other show, he said this is how they do it. They don't just make your life hell. He explained how. They complain. If you just say, hey, I've got something interesting to talk about, they say, send me a full job description. Okay, then you send the full job description and you follow up a day later. Stop bombarding me with emails, right?
Oh,
And
wah. Boo
And
hoo
that's
hoo.
what
It's
happens.
just like
Not only-
it's just bullshit. It's just like it's just like a lot of doctors in America. You've got a high risk OBG guy, and he's a great doctor, but he's a poor businessman. And somebody comes up to help him collect on his $2 million account receivable because he's a crappy businessman. It's the same thing.
So what's your point, Alan?
My point is deal with the ones you can deal with, and with the other ones, bitch slap them or try to communicate with them until they listen to you.
Okay, well, the thing is,
Yeah,
he
I'm
say
on
they
4 cups
block
of coffee right
they
now, people.
block him. They block him. Okay, I don't know how you can deal with someone who has blocked
You
you.
stop
Okay?
dealing with them.
Excuse
just
me,
move on.
Alan, you're working internally, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn on your
That's how you
camera,
do that.
okay?
Turn on
I
your
don't care
camera.
if-
I'm not talking to somebody in the dark.
I don't
Like a
mind.
ghost.
Okay, there he
He
is.
looks like Ellen.
My cam is on. Michael,
Oh, it is.
anyways, you're pulling my
Then,
leg.
then
Okay,
you're
it's not
then it's
just me
covered,
this
Mario.
time.
Are you going to compare that I'm internal and externals have a different
No,
challenge?
maybe. Yeah, kind
Hey,
of.
Animal.
Come on.
Come on, here we
Isn't that the
go.
case?
Alan, he's calling you a pussy.
I'm not a pussy. You want to know
He's
what?
calling you a pussy, Alan.
I am not able to call
Well,
you pussy.
Bring it, Mario.
Hey, dude, I didn't say that. I just said maybe you can
Mario,
do that because you're
a bad
internal.
guy calling him a
I
pussy.
did it when I had my agency. I fired clients. I fired candidates. I wouldn't deal with them. If I
No,
got
you
a
got-
guy, well,
Do you
You
fire a
got bigger
hiring
balls than
manager?
I do. I'll accept that. I'll
You
give you
can't
that.
fire a hiring manager,
oh, I
unfortunately.
can.
He has to be a
Internally.
good little
Whoa, whoa,
boy
whoa,
and
whoa.
fill the jobs.
Hold on.
Hold
When I
on.
was
No.
internal,
Alan's right, because Amy says, she tells him straight out, I'll give you as much time as you give me, okay? If you don't want to give me any time, I'm not going to give you any time.
Or-
And she's internal. She fires them, okay? That's right,
Or-
Alan. Am I not right?
You don't
So,
fire
okay,
them.
hold on. All right. So at a company where I was the national director, when I took the job, one of the criteria is I had the right to fire a hiring manager from receiving recruiting support, and I got it. And I've never gotten it
Okay.
before, and it's hard to get. Now, when you're talking about an agency, I get what you're saying. But the point is when you're looking for a good candidate, Mario or pussy calling me Dualta, is you want good clients. And I get that,
Yeah.
but it's about listening. It's about building rapport. It's about getting along with them. And look, there were times when I dealt with clients where we would have a placement or two, but then a new hiring manager or a new HR person or something came in and it became hell. It's like, you know what? There's enough in the world for everybody. I'm going to go find another good top 20% client, and then I'm going to get rid of you guys. I didn't
Rich
tell them
Rosen
that.
agrees with him, doesn't he? Rich Rosen
Okay.
says, fire your client. That's one of the sure ways to make
I
money.
agree with Alan.
I agree with that
Alan's
point,
right.
but I was talking about the candidate side. Let's say you're working a very tough to fill role and you come across 4 to 5 really good candidates, of which all are bitches. Okay. Make it
Okay.
easy.
Now, so I have 2 answers for you on that one. No, maybe a question. Number one, does that particular job engender bitches? Number 2 is, and I admit it, because you do have people that are very, very rare, are getting hammered all the time, and you've got to figure out how to connect with them. And to Animal's point, Amy one time went after that type of situation, Mario. There was only like, I think 9 to 12 people that had what they needed, and she researched them and figured out that the one guy they wanted to hire, Dwalta, happened to really like Monty Python. So her intro email to him had nothing to do with the job, had nothing to do with anything else. It was a comment from it was a blurb from a Monty Python movie. It started the conversation. And hold on, Animal. And Dean DaCosta will tell you he had a role where somebody told him there's only 5 people that have that skill. And Dean was like, bull, I can find people. And he went and he did this and that association, and he found there were 5 people. And he called them all, and he connected with one. And they talked and they talked and they talked. And it took him, I think, 3 to 4 months.
They talked about comic books or something like that.
Yeah. And they talked about comic books. Look, I had
How often are you going to find out some special thing like comic books or Monty Python or
Animal? Your partner in crime, Jerry, came up with a great point on your group. He said it's all about timing.
Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead.
I think you just hit the nail on the head with it.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And look, here, you guys want a tip that I have been astounded by in the last 2 weeks. So we all send out emails or in-mails or whatever, and some people reply back and say, I'm doing fine, thanks a lot, let's connect and stay in touch. Great. I send everybody that replies, I reply to them, and I say, hey, thanks for replying, I appreciate it. Almost nobody does. I look forward to keeping in touch with you, and I hope you're having a good week. Duh. In the last 2 weeks, I've gotten 4 replies back to that one that says, you're the first recruiter to ever reply back to my reply. I look forward to keeping in touch. Much respect. Rapport that I can call these people now, and I have more rapport than the average recruiter does.
True.
Yeah, that's because people are using automation, and
Oh, yeah.
whenever they reply, the automation stops the sequence.
Yeah.
And then they don't have the foresight to carry on and try and build a relationship.
Hey, Dwalta, do you guys do automation there?
Do you know what? We do bits of it, but I found my team got lazy and I stopped them doing it. So we went through this period of doing LinkedIn Helper, and it got stale and they got lazy.
Spam like completely irrelevant profiles, right? And then you would have actually to deal with like people who are pissed off, right? Something like that.
I think it's as good as the effort that you put in, and invariably it just makes you a little lazier. Like Luxo, that we use for our ATS, that has a really good outreach system, and we're getting some results on that at the moment. So that piece is good, but yeah, it's only as good as the stuff you put into it.
Let me ask you a question there. Hold on before. So I was on the impression you were automating as much as possible, but you also you're famous for using virtual assistants. So if you can hire someone at a reasonable rate, they can do a higher quality job that the machine would have done something poor at. Is that a reasonable way to replace automation with low salaried overseas assistants?
Yeah, I think that you can do a combination of both. So I think if you've got a really good marketing plan, you can have virtual assistants helping you do the heavy lifting with your marketing, with your sourcing and running the automation stuff. But there has to be an element of supervision and quality and training put in to get them, just like you would if you were to hire somebody in America or the UK.
In common sense.
Wait a second,
Oh
Ernie.
my
Yeah,
God,
I wanted to come to Ernie for a second. Dr. Ernie, okay? Foodindustryrecruiter.com. You had something to say a while ago. I thought you had something burning, but you were too polite and you let
I'm too polite. No, but what Dwalta's saying is pretty interesting. I have Luxo too, and I've not used the automation, the campaign as they call it, because I like calling people.
Yeah,
and I think that makes a lot of sense. You try to reach out to them, you call them, you email, you text them, and what you find out is that people will end up being one of those types that they may be a person that loves to text you. So you text them. They maybe a person loves to email you, you email them. And
And
others
it's
you
also, yeah,
talk to them. So it's really using your common sense to figure out how do I get in touch with these people.
Okay,
And
let me ask you a question about calling then. Do you leave voicemails?
yeah, I do.
How many?
I call them, I leave a voicemail, I follow it up with an email, and then I leave them a text to say, check out your email and check out your voicemail, or your email and your your other stuff. I just left you. But yeah,
Frequency. How frequent? How many repetitions? Those are the key
I do
questions.
it about 3 times, and after that, you'll get back to me if you want to.
Okay, so you're not an 80 times guy. You're a
This
3
is on the
times
biz
guy.
dev side or on the recruiting side?
The recruiting side, but no, I mean if it's on the client side, I'll call them, and I'll
Any
stay
80
in
times?
touch.
Any 80 times people here? Like I'll call you 80 times. I'll call you till you give up and
Who's
give
got
in.
that kind of time? Seriously.
Rich Rosen,
I mean, it
money
really
maker.
depends.
Anybody
you're
is anybody doing it besides Rich and David Perry? Anybody call endlessly till they get somebody?
I'll stop at 5 or 6.
Okay, so that's normal. Everybody here's normal. Okay, no extreme out of the box callers.
But it also is a great
That's-
indicator of the person's character, personality, and professionalism. Because
But
if you've done the same and you're not doing, like also said, if you're not wasting their time with spam automation, and you're customizing it and just doing an individual email or whatever. Look, I've gotten calls for my position in Los Angeles like crazy. The market's gone crazy in my sector, and there's not a lot of us around in construction. I will always take the call. I will always make an appointment, and I'll try to help them out. I'll try to refer somebody. But that also
you're the recruiter. It's a little different, okay?
Well, yeah, but Animal. It's also the person. You're trying to recruit a person. To Mario's comment, if you've only got 10 people that have it, then my suggestion is you got to do some research on them. You got to figure out who they are, and you got to figure out how to appeal.
Mansplaining me. He is mansplaining. He's got a voice that can roll me right over, and he uses it, okay? And that's mansplaining. I'm going to accuse you of that.
A lot of times
Animal
it's
has
all
gone
about
woke.
the timing. It's all about the timing.
Sure.
Like Duvalto was saying, you reach out to people, keep in touch with them, keep a friendly face, don't get upset.
But let's say there is timing, but the story like that Al told or about Amy and about the other one about
Dean.
I think
Dean,
I think
those are special cases. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
they're special cases. Like, so I've interviewed Rich Rosen. I know there's a few fanboys on here a few times.
We're all fanboys of Rich. Maybe not Al.
And
I respect the hell out of
Especially
Rosen.
Mario.
I'm a fan of Dwalta's. He just doesn't know it.
one of the things I asked Rich was, if you could do it all again, what would you do differently? And he said, I would be even more niche. So he said, I was even too broad within software sales. And just to go to the outcome of why he was saying that is, there is no flukes then. You're working with the same 2,000 to 8,000 candidates that you've got to know over a long period of time. You're never going outside of that. So there's no guesswork of when they're moving.
You have enough
You're
companies
keeping
to
track.
source from if you when
Yeah.
you're
Oh, yeah.
too niche.
Sure
But
you do. Yeah.
here's the problem with being niche, getting too nichey is
Son of a
that
niche.
you
That's a
have
Mexican
so
way
many.
to say it. He told us last week he thinks in Spanish. Okay,
Yeah.
he said Mexican. Go ahead.
Niche, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is that so many clients think that, oh, if he hasn't done this, then he can't do it here. So we're only looking for people that have done this or need SaaS experience. And it's annoying to hear people say they need SaaS experience because no, you need people that can sell, that have sold software solutions would be great, but
And do
So
you ever try
that's
to
my
educate them?
concern.
Do you ever try to educate them like that, Michael G. Cox? You say, wait a minute, man.
no, it's not educating, like saying, no, that's wrong or whatever, which
Yeah.
is the classic recruiting animal style. It's
Yeah.
having a conversation like, well, have you considered, Dwalta, the fact that you're looking for individuals that have this set of skills. So to get this set of skills, they need to be in these types of positions for at least a certain number of years. Now, if I found you somebody that had those skills and that experience, that would make sense, right? And suddenly they're like, well, yeah, of course. but they have to have SaaS experience. I was like, dude, stop with that.
That sounds like an Allen solution. Forget about those guys.
No,
Walk
no,
on.
no, 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 no. Don't be putting words. Don't
Ernie
be running
first,
over me.
Ernie
Don't be
first,
making
you-
me
and Ernie,
Even to
Ernie.
get to that point, you have to understand that nowadays, when your name comes across their phone, they have a decision whether to pick it up or not.
Yeah.
And so what you really have to do is, if you do connect with somebody, you know, you have to show confidence that you know what you're talking about. Number two, you have to listen to what they want. And two, you got to make that call enjoyable for them. And you got to understand that everybody that you're talking to that's on the hiring side is under a lot of stress. They don't need you to put more stress on them. They need you to help them solve whatever their problem is.
Right.
So you try to become that expert in whatever they need.
How do you do that? By talking laid back like you instead
No,
of
you-
talking like me?
no,
Is
you
that the
talk like-
solution?
No, you
Yeah,
mirror the
I
person.
think you do talk laid back a little bit. You don't talk like you know shit and you know
Alan
everything.
doesn't talk laid back, okay?
I talk
Alan-
laid back.
No,
But
no,
you-
you're
but
like,
you
I'm
think
gonna
that-
punch you out, okay?
I'm helping
That's-
your show, animal.
He's bringing
Look.
in some, but you got to really talk like you're listening to them. Because you take
So
it
I think you
as
have
you're-
to
as you're-
talk
as you're
in
talking to
whatever
them-
way suits
Yeah.
you. But
And
the most-
suits them and
Yeah.
relates to them.
If you've
the most
been,
important
if you've
thing-
been in their shoes, you know one thing: as they're talking to you, there's somebody at the freaking door saying,
Yeah.
"You got a minute? When are you going to get off the phone?" And you got to be able to keep them going with you, and you got to identify with the fact that they're busy, and then you
Yeah,
can talk.
but, but it's just about setting up the meeting right. So you have your
But
bit of
even
chit
if you
chat, you
set
have
up
your
even if you
agenda.
set up a
you-
meeting, they're
you
still at
ask-
the door.
You make sure you know how much time you have. You ask the questions that you need to get the information out of, and then if you have something to pitch at the very end, you do. If you don't, you tell them how you're going to do it, and then you do it.
One of the things I used to do when I was on the HR side, and I was the VP of HR, I would tell recruiters, "Hey, look, I get off work at 6 o'clock. I got an hour and a half drive home. Call me then." Nobody took me up on it.
I
Wow.
take my potential candidates up on that all day long. I'll call them at 6 in the morning, 5:30 at night, on the weekend.
I mean, that's what you
Hard
gotta-
pass.
No way.
Okay.
I gotta sleep.
Hold
man.
on. I want to, Mario hasn't said anything for a while since he went
Oh,
dark.
that's because he's not allowed to speak if he doesn't have a camera on.
No, he's a regular. He's got special rules.
Are you
Mario.
serious or you're joking? I am really
No,
confused.
we don't see
Everybody's
Mario.
agreeing with me,
Mario.
okay? I always say I can't hear you. They say, oh, it's you, not me. Okay, but now everybody agrees we can't
Cas-
see you,
Casper
okay?
the
Maybe
Ghost,
there's a
Casper.
blackout. I don't
You're on
want to
the
say
dark
what
side,
country
Mario.
he's from, okay? So, okay, Mario, you got a chance to say something.
Here's
Think
you.
about it for a
You're
second.
kidding me or what? What the hell?
There's you, Mario. Mira.
I see that. I see that. Wait. I'm going to get this fixed.
Mira.
Holy shit.
Okay, while you're fixing
I
it, we'll go to
swear to God.
Ivan. Ivan, do you have
Yeah,
something
please.
to say? Because I noticed, Ivan, that you're very passionate on other people's show, but you are very quiet here. So my guess is just that you
You're
come so
quiet.
everybody
Don't
can
be-
see your
He's
ad.
intimidated.
Okay,
He's
you don't have
intimidated.
to say anything. I don't
Call
mind.
him
Do
a pussy, Dwalta.
you want to say something, Ivan?
I only call internal recruiters pussies.
All right.
Oh,
Oh.
hey, son.
I'm
Oh,
giving it
drop
a
mine.
chance. Ivan,
There's
do you want to
there's
say
no
something?
business with
Yes,
internal
you don't have to
recruiters.
say anything. You have something you want to
Bullshit, I just-
contribute.
I'm in the
okay?
recruiter world. I don't need internal recruiters.
I'm rare. I'm one of the ones that'll work with you guys.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, is it working now? Can
No.
you see me?
Nope.
Next week you'll be on. There's only 10 minutes left. Okay, I have lots of other
I got a new
information.
camera, sir.
Okay, does anybody though have a topic that they really want to talk about? There was one of the big topics this week was competing offers. How you handle when they've got 4 offers. Is anybody really excited about that and wants to contribute, or I'll move on? Nobody?
Not something that excites me. I've had that happen recently a few times because everybody, even if they weren't looking, suddenly you're speaking to them and they're looking and they get competing offers.
Oh, okay, yeah. But here's a quote. I think I'm talking about Rich Rosen too much lately, but he's had a good quote.
Fanboy.
He said he's a good communicator, okay? Just like Ernie. And he says he said money first people will break your heart. Does that ring a bell, strike a chord with anybody?
Run away
Like
if they
the-
talk only money as a motive.
Yep.
for
Queen
me.
of Diamonds.
Yep.
There's got to be something else. You gotta bring it
DeWalta
back.
is nodding his head. Why is that? Why? What's wrong with people who want to move for money?
Because they'll move for a nickel.
No, not necessarily. Okay, nobody's got any good feedback.
They'll move,
Like
they'll move for
it's
money.
the most
That
horrible
means
in
you
any
stay for money.
relationship. It's like the most horrible in any relationship. Like also clients, like if you have to discuss about like 1 basis point or percent with some like like founder, and he manages like 30 people and makes like millions in revenue. You say, no, we make it like 21%, and then like no 22, no, we make it 21.5, and then it's like it's already like so. I don't understand why people actually do it. It's like such a massively red flag, especially in like let's say I suppose rich countries, right? It's unbelievable. So like it's on both sides, candidates and client science is like the killer. It's like with candidates who are only after the money, I literally try to really dig, hey, like can you really maybe think of something
Okay,
that
but wait a
also
second.
like
Both you and Michael G. Cox are talking about cheapskates, okay, who are going to be
I ain't
arguing
talking about
endlessly
cheapskates.
about-
Aren't most people cheapskates?
I this guy had an offer. It was at 100K, and he passed on that for 110K for
Oh, yeah.
for another position, and not even another position, to stay where he was at. So, dude, it's ridiculous.
So dude,
You're gonna stay where you're at for $83.
I got a good
a month.
story if you guys don't mind.
Mario-
$833.33.
Mario's turn, okay?
Thank-
Come back,
I had
Mario.
a guy back out of an offer for just 5K. Okay.
Yeah.
We were giving him 150K and he was getting 155K from another company. He has a TS SCI clearance. Okay. He
I don't know
took
what
the
that is.
new role. That's a
Top
high level
secret.
security clearance. Okay.
It's a big, it's
Yeah.
top secret, special compartmentalized.
Yeah, exactly. Information actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens is that guy took the role with after giving me his word, he's taking the offer. He backed out over the weekend, followed him up 15 times, and he answered the call and said, I'm taking this other offer. I asked, what's up? So he took the other offer. In 2 weeks, he lost that same job. Then he came back to me, asked me, can I take up this offer?
And you
For
said,
5K, man. What happened is I just sent him or asked the customer. They liked it.
Okay, so
Okay.
you didn't, wait a sec, hold on. You didn't have a chance to discuss with him that
Dude,
5K.
he was outright. He said, I'm doing what's best for my family. When I said, mate,
5K.
listen, yeah, dude, he was a prick. Simple as that. Okay. And the prick got castrated, you say. Okay.
Okay, that don't talk
Damn,
about
son.
castration on this
Yeah.
show. We're all men here. As somebody told, we're all
Please
men.
leave
I
that
don't want to
topic.
talk about.
no, before you leave the topic on money.
Ernie's burning. Ernie's got
Yeah,
something burning to
before you
say.
leave the topic on money, when somebody says my motivation for moving is money, then your next question as a recruiter should be, I want you to do this. Go in there and ask your boss for a raise and see what they tell you. If they give you that raise, you're happy. If not, come back to me. You use that later
I
on, but
usually
that's
just
about the only thing you can do.
Yeah, I usually try and tie it into their long-term goals. So if they say it's money, why? What? Like, why are
Yeah.
you doing this? Where do you want to go? And then try and work out, is there a roadmap for them to match with the client?
But you
Pull
do
the
gotta-
offer,
you gotta-
pull
you gotta
pull the
do that.
opportunity. If I catch wind of anything like this, so I had this happen recently with a candidate in Houston, and she says, you know what, I'm thinking maybe not leaving. The offer is solid. I said, you know what, forget the offer. Don't worry about it. But there, and you talk about why we're even talking in the first place. We've been going through this for a month and a half. It's not just the 5K, 10K.
Right.
You wanted to do this. You wanted to go into this thing where you would be a sales specialist selling as an overlay. That's what we've got going on here. But she ended up still going with the status quo plus 10K. So she stayed behind.
So
Wow.
the
Can I
biggest
ask
thing-
Ernie a question first? Ernie,
Yeah.
So they say I'm interested in money. You said go ask for a raise. This person's probably too chicken to ask for a raise to begin with. That's what generated their openness to talk to you. Isn't that it? Wouldn't they say, look, I don't want to rock the boat at my place. I don't want to rock the boat.
But you explain to them this is what's going to happen. You're going to ask for this raise. If you don't get the raise, come back. But if you're afraid to ask, what's going to happen is you're going to tell them you're leaving for 5K more. They're going to give you a counter. Once they give you that counter, you'll probably accept it. But you know what? You've proved you're disloyal. So right now, get it out of the way,
And
because
that disloyalty, I've heard this from every recruiter. So
You-
all the owners, all
but
the
the whole-
employers, they fall for that. They feel that disloyalty thing. They know that their people are going to
well,
leave sooner or later.
they got their budget, and they
Yeah.
understand one thing. You just forced them to play a card that they didn't want to play.
And you
So
force
now
it during a time when you're not putting a gun to the person's head with an offer. You're asking it out of the blue. And
Yeah.
and if they say, well, we've got our budget, we can't, well, you know what the answer is anyway.
Walter
Hey,
wanted to say
you know what
something.
you're
I got to
worth?
wrap up. Walter, did you have a burning comment on him before you raised your hand a minute ago? Oh, you forgot already. Is that right? What you wanted to say?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
Okay,
I
hey,
think, look, there's nothing wrong with wanting more money, and employers, they need to start tying it into like creating offers that keep people in the business for the long term.
Mhm.
So if somebody says more money, automatically I'm thinking of, is there a share option? Is there something to give them a big picture out in
Yeah.
5 years? Are they just after a quick buck? Because
Yeah.
if they're after just a quick buck, it's not going to work. But if they're being strategic about wanting more money, then that's fine.
Okay, I would like to come back to this. We're going to have a lot of roundtables because there's not many people signing on as guests. But here's the
This is
thing:
no fun.
when people say, "I want to, I'll stay where I am for $5,000," but you have to have a checklist of things to run by them. Have you considered, this, and this? And it's not always good. Like, for instance, everybody says at the beginning of a relationship, ask them all about all the different things. Okay. If they just say there's money and there's nothing else, you have to supply a list of other considerations for them. You have to have that in the back of your mind, ready to bring forward, right? Say, well, have you considered this? Have you considered this? Have you considered this as well? And nobody that's not getting it. Let me introduce everybody. Food industry recruiter, Ernie Marino, raise your hand. Okay, he's got a 20,000. He doesn't need me to say that. He's got 20,000 people in his LinkedIn group. On the other side of me, I am going to look up his proper domain name. And if he doesn't have a good one, I'm going to buy one for him, okay, that I can use myself. Dualta, Dualta, Doherty at Mastermind, Recruiting Mastermind.
Recruiters Mastermind.
Recruiters Mastermind. Right
join
below
the dinghy.
me,
It's a lot of fun.
right below me, recruiteral.com, the super duper construction recruiter still, if I'm not mistaken, in California. Beside him, Klang, KLANG.SO. This is a programmer who became a recruiter of programmers, and now he's built his own ATS, a very ambitious guy in Switzerland, Ivan Gulenko. At the bottom, the salesrecruiter.com, Michael G. Cox. And here he's back with us again, Mario Karth. You've got a new name, Mario Karth. Spell your URL for me, Mario. Maybe his audio is not working now because he doesn't seem to be.
www.alexexisrecruiting.com.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. Say it again.
He's frozen.
Screw it.
Yeah, it's just his image. He's got one of those
Screw it.
fake.
He's got a good image.
image.
But he's got a good image for it.
It's not
Anybody
that
want
money,
to say
it's
any last comments? Any last comments? How can I get more guests? How come I got 15,000 active?
You don't need guests, man. Come on, these guys are enough. Okay, we need to start with those ones.
Yeah, that's the kind of
enough.
advice I need that I can't hear.
Quality animal, quality, not quantity.
Exactly.